Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video we are going to show you how to take your NES, your original Nintendo Entertainment System, that's right, the toaster, and make it as reliable at reading games as the original Famicom. Hey everyone, Gary from Rock Solid Productions, and you guys know I love retro video games and retro video game systems. One of my favorite systems of all time is the original Nintendo Famicom. I love the looks, I love the style, I love the design. I also love the fact it just plain works. Nintendo came up with a great design here with the dust cover to keep the cartridge slot protected. All that you do to put your cartridges, you take it, snap it in, and it works. You don't have any issues as far as the pins or the contacts, generally speaking, working and the game playing. Now, when Nintendo decided that they wanted to bring the Famicom to the USA, it was in the early 80s, 1982, 1983 to be specific, right as the US was going through the video game crash. Thanks Atari, thanks ET, thanks ColecoVision, thanks Intellivision. Because of that, Nintendo didn't necessarily want to bring out the Famicom in the US as it sits here. They didn't want it to look like a video game system. They wanted it to look like a traditional piece of electronics someone would have in their home, like a VCR. So what they did is they took the internals essentially of the Famicom and they put it in this case here that we all know as the NES toaster. Now, with the toaster, one of the issues that a lot of people have is a red blinking light if a cartridge doesn't seat properly, if the NES 10 chipset doesn't read the cartridge properly. There's a lot of things that can cause this to not properly read your games. One of the biggest issues that can cause your NES to not read your games is the mechanism itself that's used to kind of replicate the VCR functionality. The way the pins are designed to hit the contacts on your cartridge, the way the pop-up, pop-down mechanism, this causes most of the issues with the NES, the original NES. So what we're going to do is we have a conversion kit called the Blinking Light Win. Beautiful name on that because all the red light would do when it wouldn't read, blink red, blink red, blink red. And sometimes you would get just a glimpse of your game up on screen, but by and large, you were kind of SOL. So we're going to show you how to remove the old components, how to install the Blinking Light Win, and everything that goes into doing this mod. So let's get started. Now, before we begin surgery, you're going to need one tool to do it. And it's just a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm using this 2x4-inch screwdriver, number 2x4-inch screwdriver. I got it at Menards for like 99 cents. The other thing you'll need, of course, is the Blinking Light Win accessory kit, which is really simple. You get a new 72-pin adapter, and then you get your new tray. In addition to that, you get some instructions that come in the box, but that's all that this is, and that's the beauty of this conversion. So let us dive into the underbelly of our NES toaster. Now, as we do, there are a couple things I want to point out. First and foremost, there are 6 screws you'll need to undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would recommend, again, using a manual screwdriver, not a power screwdriver, just because of the fact that you can't get parts for these readily anymore if you do have issues. Above and beyond that, this will void any and all warranty with your... Come on, guys. This was made in 1985. The warranty is well since expired. So there's one. And I will be speeding up the video here, too, just because I know watching people unscrew screws is not the most interesting. One final thing here, too. Back in 1985, if you had any issues, you would call toll-free 800-255-3700 in the USA. That is still the same phone number for Nintendo of America. Pretty neat. 2 of them dropped out. And there's the third, so we now have all 6 screws out. Hang on to these, we will need those. We'll take the cover off and set that aside for now. Now, inside the console itself, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 10, 11, 12, 13 screws in total that we'll need to unscrew here. And once we've removed this screw, we can actually remove the RF shield here. Set that aside. Take a look at it though before you do. If there's any, dust, dirt, things along those lines, you can give this a real good quick cleaning with like some denatured alcohol. Works well. Now I had a screw that, there we go, that little guy popped off. And I did forget there's a screw here and a screw there we'll undo in a moment too. So this one we'll reuse. As will we reuse that one. And with the screws removed, what we're going to do is we're going to lift up on the board itself, and we are going to slide the tray out first. If you have some problems getting this out, just press this part down and it will get you a straighter shot out. And finally, we're going to remove the old 72 pin connector, and that you just apply some pressure and wiggle it back, and that's it. So now I'm going to set the console itself aside for a moment so we can kind of eyeball what the differences are between the stock connector and the connector that comes in the Blinking Light Win. So with the Blinking Light Win setup versus the stock setup, basically it slides into place, the cartridge will slide into there, and you'll play. You don't press it down. With the stock connector, what you have to do is you'll slide the game in. When you push the tray down, it actually angles the pins or causes the game to angle the pins to make your contact. And that's your weak point here, is after a while those pins can get weak, they fatigue, they just don't work as well as they used to. So for example, I'm going to take this copy of Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. So I plug Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt in, it just goes straight in, and it's a very, very firm connector. It's almost a death grip, I will say. And we'll pop that out, and this is kind of hard to do. That is one of the things, is it does really hold your cartridges tight. Versus with the stock one, what you'll do is you put the cartridge in, slides into place on the pins, and then when you push down, it basically brings and bends these pins to make contact with the cartridge. This is what fatigues over time. This is what wears out. This is what causes problems. So as you can see, just from its very nature, this is going to be as good from day 1 as day 30 to day 300 to day 3000, unless you use it a ton and these pins fatigue just from inserting the board in and out. With our NES back on our tray here, the other thing you want to do, again, much like the RF shield, go through, make sure if there's a whole lot of dust or other crud in here, use some compressed air to clean that out. If the contacts are showing excessive amounts of wear, you can use like an eraser to clean that up if you wanted to. Don't really use a whole lot of solvents on this. There's no need. So we're going to turn it this way, and we are going to grab our Blinking Light Win, and we're just going to take it and we are going to slide it onto the board. It is kind of a hard fit. There you go. Just kind of walk it on, and there you go. And from here, slide the board down, and everything just drops right into place. Now, if you see the sticker that I have here, the keep calm and don't press down, that comes with this conversion kit. I've already applied it here. On the back here, you went through plastic, and into that standoff for mounting. You no longer do that, you just go through this one piece. The second screw is actually meant to hold the tray and the connector together towards the back. You don't need that anymore. So with this, we're ready to screw things back together. It's a pretty simple install. You may be tempted to use like a power screwdriver for doing this. I would not recommend doing that, as it is easy to strip out and break these standoffs. Now with those 6 screws tightened down, you can grab your RF shield. I know some people do not put this back into place. I figure if it's there for a reason, so I always continue to use it. And there are a couple of tabs here and here to help you get everything lined up as well, to make sure you're not going in at an angle or cockeyed or anything like that. Now, and these with the shield, I don't tighten down fully all the way. Again, that way it gives me some room, and there's another tab to line everything up. It gives me some room that I can get everything aligned, if, like in that issue there, that I can get everything where it needs to be. Now that I have this side aligned, though, however, I am tightening everything down completely. And now with those screws in, I'm just going to tighten these guys down here. Yeah, one more. One second here. And now we're ready to put our lid back on, install our final 6 screws. We're going to test it out. And with our 6th and final screw installed, it's time to get playing. So there you have it. In 5 or 10 minutes, you can easily replace what is probably the biggest problem with the original NES, and that is the toaster mechanism that we've all kind of been familiar with over the years. Yeah, you lose some of the nostalgia of pushing it in and popping it down, but you know what? The Blinking Light Win just works. Now, there are a few things about the Blinking Light Win, as I mentioned during the assembly process. It does absolutely have a death grip on the cartridges. It makes sure that it will never, come loose or have any of the issues like that, but it can be hard to get a cartridge back out of the toaster. One workaround that a lot of people have used has been to use a Game Genie to help, give you a little bit more to grab onto to get the cartridge out. Other than that, it has been a flawless install for me since the moment that I first did it about 1.5 years ago. So I have been super happy with the performance of my NES and the Blinking Light Win. I will have a link to their website down below. Make sure that you check them out. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people are not too keen about modifying or tweaking home consoles like this. They want to maintain the original aesthetics. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions too. You can always email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. And of course, our Facebook page is open 24/7, 365, or 366 in the case of a leap year. facebook.com/rocksolidproductions. Also do want to give a shout out to our Patreons right here. Make sure that you say thank you down in the comment. They have helped us tremendously reach our goal. We are trying to raise enough money so that we can purchase a Super Analog NT for review on the channel. And for patrons of $25 a month or higher, we will send you a Rock Solid Productions short sleeve t-shirt too. So I want to thank you all for watching. This is a super easy mod. I'd really recommend it to anyone who still has an NES, an original NES toaster laying around. Thanks for watching. See you soon.